Hey, this is Doug.
I'm Greg.
And this is Mike.
And you're listening to the It's Funny, That Makes It Okay podcast. And we hope you enjoy the show. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the It's Funny, That Makes It Okay podcast. I am Doug.
I am Greg.
And this is Mike.
Yeah, and we're doing something a little different tonight. We're doing our time capsule show. This will be our last one. We've already done one for the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Tonight we'll do 2000s up to into the 10s a little bit. I went a little bit into the 10s, maybe
mine,
up to
mine pretty much stop at 10, but
but we're gonna try that, and we'll probably let Mike roll with a lot of this because he is our millennial. I'm a Gen Xer. Greg is a boomer. So
our next decade we'll do next will be in the future. We're gonna predict what's gonna be.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't look very pretty.
No, it doesn't.
No, it does not. But yeah, so we'll let Mike kind of roll with it because during the 2000s I was more concerned with just paying a mortgage and
I was an old man
volunteering for coaching, and I didn't do. I wasn't into a whole lot of the popular music, and so
was there popular music?
Well, that is
there's some popular stuff.
There was.
That is a debate, and maybe after this, when we get all done with this, we might have to decide which time capsule was the best, which decade. So I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mike, we are going to just start right off, and I apologize to everybody right now because I have got a horrible sinus problem, and I went to a customer today that has a ton of dust in the air, and so it's made it even
paper
worse.
Company.
It's compounded that problem. So
yeah,
I'm going to try to limit my talking, and everybody said that is great.
And there was much rejoicing.
Much better.
Yay!
So, Mike, go right ahead.
All right. Well, we're going to dive right in.
Oh,
so
you know what? I forgot to even tell them. For those of you that don't know, our time capsule show, the idea is we have some different categories, and we'll talk about whatever, like movies or food or whatever.
Fad, pop culture.
And we're going to just talk about some of the stuff in there, and then we have to pick something out of that category to us that most represents that decade. Now, it may be something that we don't even like it, but if it most represents that, we'll put it in our time capsule.
Yeah, hopefully if someone would say it, you would think, 2000s.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to struggle with some of this because it's hard for me to, even when we were doing some research or I was doing research, I'd look up songs. I'm like, was that the 2000s? Did that come out in the 90s? I don't know when that. So
we should have thrown cars on here.
Oh, yeah, I would never.
Minivans.
Never would have got it. So, anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just remembered I did not kind of give the rules, the ground rules.
And we are on March 21st today. We're in the middle of March.
So that's nice.
Yeah, we're getting up.
I didn't know when this was coming out, so I didn't say a date.
Oh, well,
Well, now you know.
I guess it's March 21st.
It's either March 21st or March
28th
or 14th. No,
or 14th.
14th.
I don't know.
You know what? It might be 14th. Well, we'll figure it out.
We don't know
from when we're recording this.
This is the future.
Yeah.
Greg's one of the preview of the future decade.
Yeah.
So here we go. So
all right. Well, yeah. So as Doug said, we're going to kind of cover some topics, and then we're going to each kind of go around and say some standouts to us in those topics. And I think we're going to get started here. We're going to start with movies. So we're going to start with a strong category right off the bat for 2000.
So will this be a DVD that's in our capsule?
DVD, yeah.
Yeah, because that was kind of the media.
Was Blu-ray out yet? Maybe towards the end? Or was that?
It came out during that era. But
all right. DVDs, so
they'll fit nicely in our time capsule.
We might have to,
Because like Cars was stupid because they wouldn't fit in our time capsule.
That
Wait
could
till we
be
get to actors and actresses. I don't know what we're going to do with that.
Put a picture.
Oh.
Not the actual actor or actress.
Maybe they'll show up on the DVD.
Maybe they will.
Ooh, all right, that's possible.
I think I'm going to get started here. I'm going to throw out a couple, then we'll kind of pass it around and then go from there. So movies from the 2000s, and I guess kind of growing up, I was in grade school through middle school. So I started high school right in 2010. So I was kind of going through grade school, middle school during the 2000s. So this is, I mean,
wow,
this is
I didn't realize that. I didn't think about that.
Plucked right from my childhood.
Yeah.
So, all right. Movies. The first couple that came to my mind, really without too much thought, were Napoleon Dynamite was one of them.
Love it.
Yeah. Quoted that one for a while after that one came out.
I still
Napoleon
find
Dynamite.
myself occasionally quoting it.
I had like vote for Pedro shirts.
Did you?
Actually. Yeah. So
I think my son had a vote for Pedro shirt.
I think he did. Yeah. You know where I watched that one? For work, I had to go to Memphis. Real quick story. I had to go to Memphis, and I went to my class for the day. I came back to the hotel, and I was getting ready to go out and grab some supper or something. And I was walking. I had the TV flipped on, and I see this curly-haired kid, and I'm like, what is this? And I sat down on the end of the bed, watched the entire movie right there before I even went and got supper. It's like, it was so funny.
I saw that. I was over at my cousin's house for a birthday party or something, and my cousin's husband said, have you ever heard of this movie? And I'm like, Napoleon Dynamite? No. He's like, come here, I want to play a little bit of it. And he played a little bit of it, and I just watched it, and I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. He said, that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
And he said,
watch it again.
But then I watched it again. He said, the more I've watched it, I've grown to, I kind of like the movie. And then now it's like, I love this movie. And he said, I can't tell you why. I'm like,
no,
that's exactly what happened.
It's an enigma.
So, I got the movie. We watched it. I'm like, oh, it was kind of funny. And then we'd watch it again. You'd find more little things.
Uncle
and
Rico.
It's weird.
Yeah. Uncle Rico is like the best supporting character in the movie.
Awesome. Well, Kip. I mean, Kip is.
Kip was pretty good.
And his girlfriend, LaFonda. Love it all. Man.
Yeah. So many good characters.
And it was hard to. It's like, what decade is this? Is this now?
Or the 80s?
I have no idea. I have no idea when this is.
Well, because Pedro's, I don't know, were they his friends or his cousins? They drive the lowrider, and it's like, well, that's a 60s Impala or something. It's like, so that doesn't tell me when it is.
Some of the music was from the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, was it Alphaville, Forever Young?
Yeah, Forever Young.
It was very odd.
Well, I still can't eat tater tots without thinking.
Oh, I love it. Put them in your pocket.
Yeah.
Whenever my wife says her lips hurt, I'll say they hurt real bad.
I did that one night.
Out of the drawer.
I did that at band practice one night. I stopped in Sonic and got some tater tots, put them in my vest pocket because we had some Napoleon Dynamite fans there. And
Slowly
I said,
get it.
Yeah, I pulled one out.
Put it in your mouth real fast.
And a friend of mine in the band saw
Did
me.
He'd kick your pocket. Smash them. Yeah, good call. I had that on my list.
I did not.
So that is like the top of the mind there for my movies. Another one I had up there that was pretty popular was Avatar.
I've got that one on my list.
And that one was more 50-50. I feel like people either liked it or they didn't like it. There was
have never seen Avatar.
When it came out,
interesting.
The big thing was CGI.
It was
when
huge.
It came out.
I mean, huge movie.
Yeah, I saw it at a what do they call the big theater?
The IMAX.
IMAX, yeah. And it was a couple years after it had been released. But again, when you're thinking 2000s, that one definitely is up there.
Yeah, that came out in 2009.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird movie, like plot-wise, alien jungle kind of a thing. I don't know. I thought it was good at the time, but I haven't really gone back and watched it since then.
It was no Napoleon Dynamite.
No.
But
you only get one Uncle Rico. I mean, let's be honest. So, and then a couple other ones I had before I kind of passed them around was some of the big, like Disney, Pixar, like animated movies at the time. Shrek.
Oh, yeah.
Monsters, Inc.
Shrek's good.
Finding Nemo, Wall-E, Up are some of those more popular kind of like the Disney Pixar movies.
Yeah.
Up has got to be one of the most depressing beginnings of a movie.
Yeah.
It is very depressing.
We went and watched that, and we're watching like, it's like pretty soon, right away I was like, I don't remember seeing an old lady in this anywhere. I told my wife that she's going to die. It's like, why would you say that? I said, this is going to get bad. It was sad.
It was very sad.
Like, this is horrible. Leave it to Disney.
I almost shed a tear.
It must have been sad for Greg to almost shed a tear.
Well, and then the dog character came in, and it was
squirrel.
Totally just disconnected.
Yeah.
So I've got some more, but I'm going to pass it around, kind of you guys, and
Okay.
don't want to steal them all.
Yeah, I don't have that many, so do you want me to throw mine out there real quick? Mine are mostly from the kind of action genre. I had Lord of the Rings.
Yes. Huge trilogy.
Yep, I had Lord of the Rings, and those came out in 01, 02, 03, all of the whole
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, the first one.
Yes.
And even the second one I liked. I got tired of them once they released a bunch.
But that first one, that was a surprise because I went into that with zero expectation other than they made a movie out of a ride.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest thing ever. What's what next? A Screaming Eagle? Woo.
Yeah.
And we
Small
laughed. I was like,
World.
that movie was awesome.
Yeah. It was good.
The opening
I like-
scene when they come in and they start firing into the city there.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Or when the boat comes up and it's sinking and he steps off of it onto the dock.
Yeah.
great. It was great.
I really liked all of them, really.
I like them, but the first one, just because it was so original,
Yeah.
was my favorite. But yeah, they're all interesting, and some of them got a little carried away with the fighting. It's like, okay, this fight has lasted 25 minutes
Yeah.
now. It's like, and then my last one was Dark Knight.
Oh, see, I had Dark Knight too.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
a fantastic movie.
So those are my picks.
Yeah, so I had all of those as well. So I only had a few other ones. I threw in Iron Man, the beginning of the MCU, the first one, 08. It was kind of kicked off Robert Downey Jr.'s career again. That was kind of got him. He'd been a star and kind of fallen from grace, and then
Yeah,
I was like, Robert Downey.
well, that
Jr.
happens
is
when you
back
go
in-
sleep in someone's bed and
get busted for cocaine and everything else. So.
And that's really started a big, long series of the
Oh, my
movies,
goodness.
Oh,
the
yeah.
action
how many?
hero
Do you even
movies.
know how many there are? I mean,
no.
is it
I
like
don't-
30
I
something?
don't know.
Probably, yeah.
Well, now and you got them that they go straight to Disney Plus. So I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
a whole thing. I mean, it's huge.
There's spin-off TV shows.
Yeah.
But,
Then I also got Anchorman.
Anchorman.
That might be
I do
funniest,
like
the funniest
Anchorman.
movie of the just
Ron
as far as
Burgundy.
just that slapstick.
Now, the
funny
first one or
of
the second
2000s.
one?
The first one.
First one.
The first one
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
the best. Again, because I
That
saw
had-
that with zero expectation either. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is going to be stupid. And I was like,
The fight scene at the end.
oh
is
my
there.
goodness, it's just awesome.
That
Yeah.
had a great cast.
Oh, it did.
Will Ferrell, Steve Carell, I'm forgetting the other guys. But anyway, that was a
well,
great
there's the guy
cast.
who plays Packer.
Yeah, I don't know his actual name.
I can't think of it off the top
That
of my
that one
head.
had a great cast.
Yeah.
for being what it was.
And the main gal was
Sex
some,
Panther.
60%
of the time, it works 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Or something to that effect.
Yeah, and even what's her name from Married with Children? She was,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
she's playing the girl, love interest, whatever.
And the last one, this was from 2014, so it kind of bled over. But John Wick, that movie, I
have
had
never
zero-
seen a John Wick movie, so. Well, see, my man card got taken, so I couldn't watch it.
You might get a new man card if you watch that movie.
That's how you actually get it. The
Yes.
issue.
Get it
But yeah.
renewed.
Yeah.
And it is super violent. And I will say this: my wife hates violent movies. She saw Scream years ago, and she's like, "It was so violent and gross, I couldn't stand it."
Scream?
Yeah, she didn't like it. So
See, I
she got
like
in, she
horror
got in a
flicks.
discussion with our son about that, and he's like, "But you like John Wick?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I 100% guarantee you, there is way more murder and killing and blood in John Wick than there ever is in Scream."
Oh,
and
yeah.
it is John Wick is just he's brutal. He shoots everybody in the head. He kills. The body count is huge, but it's an awesome action
Yeah,
movie.
I've heard that. And I don't know why I have not watched it.
I think you would enjoy
Yeah,
it.
I have not seen all of them, but I saw the first two. How many are there? 3?
I think they're
Fair
making
enough.
2 more.
Two more?
Actually, I don't know.
I've seen the first couple.
I'm waiting for Candle Wick to come out.
Cancel. All right. Well, I've got a couple more just to kind of come back on. Another big trilogy outside of the Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean, Harry Potter
Oh, yeah.
was also huge in the 2000s.
That one really defines the 2000s.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And then these will be for my wife, Courtney. Mean Girls and Legally Blonde were kind of some other, like, not rom-coms. I don't know.
Kind of a rom-com. I mean,
teenage humor kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like ditzy blonde girl.
I actually
type
liked
movies.
Legally Blonde. I thought it was funny. I mean,
You just lost your man card again.
I know. I keep it.
Not even John
I need a
Wick
deck
can
of 'em,
save you
so-
now.
So I can just shuffle them. It's like a game of Uno. I have to, give them out.
I think you have a teenage girl card now. That's
What?
yeah, good call. So
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
All right. How do we pick?
all right. So what
goes in
what
the time
movie most exemplifies the 2000s? If you had to pick one movie, said put it in here. Like what was it? What
I've got 2 picks.
I
See,
got a
actually, we
couple.
were talking before this episode, and some of the other time capsules, it's been kind of cut and dry with most categories, not everyone, but most categories. There's kind of a clear cut winner.
Yeah.
But with the 2000s, it seems to be a little bit more ambiguous.
I would agree.
Yeah, a little
you could
gray
kinda
areas.
go-
Yeah.
I think with just about every category, it's that
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So if I had to pick, you said you had 2, Greg?
I got 2 picked. I mean, and then we can.
Okay.
I mean, not that though, but if they're not yours, that's fine too.
I'm okay. This is gonna stink, but I think if I'm going to represent the 2000s, it's either got to be for me the Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter,
Okay.
just because of how big both of them were at the time.
Yeah. So mine was Harry Potter and Napoleon Dynamite because I love it so much.
I mean, I love Napoleon
But-
Dynamite too.
Well, that's
but-
funny you should say that because my 2 were Harry Potter or Napoleon Dynamite.
So he picked Harry Potter.
So I think Harry Potter.
it's gotta be
I
Harry
think,
Potter.
I
I
think
think Harry
3
Potter
votes for
wins
Harry
it.
Potter, and I've never seen the Harry Potter.
I have
movies.
not either.
But
that's
that was out of
because-
my. Yeah, I was older, and it just never really.
Well, and to be honest, we were in a phase of our life where we would not let our kids watch it. We were kind of in a, I don't know, just
You made a parenting
weren't sure.
decision.
Yeah, we
So you
weren't
just-
sure, about it and stuff. So
I thought it looked dumb, so I just I have zero interest in it. So
yeah, it just never grabbed me, and I like
No.
fantasy or sci-fi
Yeah, I love Lord of
or
the
things
Rings.
like that. And
I really enjoyed Lord of the Rings.
yeah, I read all the Lord of the Ring books and all that. But
And how many Harry Potter movies are there? 6?
8 dozen.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
I think 7 or 8.
Okay.
But I know now there's another spin-off trilogy from that, like The Hobbit.
Yeah.
was kind of a spin-off trilogy.
Yeah.
like before. Lord
Where
of the
they're in a
Rings,
nursing
but-
home, and
We're wizards.
it's kind of like Stranger Things. It's like
It's Harold Potter
they-
now. I don't go by Harry anymore.
What? Yeah.
nope.
All right.
I think that's a good. That's a good
Harry
pick.
Potter's got to go.
That's a good
Potter.
pick, though.
All right. Starting off strong with the movie.
Yeah.
Next category I had. Actually, let's go ahead. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Since we're on movies, let's do actor and then actresses.
All right.
So for actors, I had kind of as my probably number 1 pick, if I'm being honest, Johnny Depp.
Okay.
Because huge role in Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, if you think of Pirates of the Caribbean, you really think of Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yep.
He also had, what was it, Sweeney Todd at the time?
Yeah.
Had come out. I feel like he was just really big there, 2000s. Another one, kind of alongside him, was Orlando Bloom.
Yeah. That's the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean. He had some crossover into Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Who everybody fawned over him in Lord of the Rings and both.
Well, I didn't fawn.
Well, okay, well, not everybody, but a certain demographic that may watch Mean Girls and Legally Blonde. So that demographic, maybe. And of course, I had Daniel Radcliffe on there, who is Harry Potter.
Right.
Put guys like Brad Pitt on there.
Yep.
Leo DiCaprio had some roles.
I had,
Yep.
I had
I had
Leo
Leo.
on my list.
So I'll kind of that was really kind of my list. So I'll kind of turn it over to you guys.
All right. You want to throw yours out there this
See what
time?
you had.
You might wipe out the rest of my list, but
Sure, I wrote down several. I'll try to. I had
It
a couple
helps
of those.
if
I
you
didn't have
break it
Johnny
down.
Depp though. That was a good call.
yeah.
I did have Robert Downey Jr.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Again with the MCU. Now I don't know how that was kind of more towards the end of the 2000s, so I don't know what else he was doing before that. But
I think he had some movies I liked, but
Yep. So for actors too, I put Will Ferrell because if you throw in
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live, I mean he was TV star too before.
Yeah.
that. And the same with Steve Carell. I had both of them on there. Almost as much for television as for the movies. Although they both have crossover for both of those. I had Matt Damon.
yeah,
He had a lot
he
going
was
on.
big. Yeah.
Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Batman.
The
He
Batman.
really came on.
Yeah.
And then
Well, he did a lot more than Batman too. He did a lot of stuff.
American Psycho and just all kinds of stuff. And then I also had Heath Ledger.
Yeah. Ooh, an honorum, or what do you
Yeah.
call it? Honorarium. Memoriam. Yes.
Wasn't Heath Ledger in Bat? Wasn't he?
Yeah, the Joker.
Yeah, the Joker.
That's right.
Well, he was in Knight's Tale too, which was
Knight's
awesome.
Tale.
Yeah.
The,
was that
cowboy.
2000s?
Yeah, the Cowboy movie.
Yeah.
He was also in The Patriot.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a good actor. All right, I got a couple. Tom Hanks.
Oh, the Hankster.
Yeah, Tom Hanks always up. Clooney.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in a lot of stuff. I couldn't name a lot of them, but he was in a lot of stuff. He seemed like everywhere you turned, Clooney was showing up. And then I don't know, is this 2000s? Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when was I Am Legend?
That was 2000.
Which I heard they're making another one of those, like a sequel. Or
because, we can't come up with any new movies.
It's him and Michael B. Jordan, I think.
Well, he died in the first. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Oh, you just ruined it for everybody.
So I don't know how they're going to do that.
So yeah, other than those, I had Leo and Johnny Depp as well.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, what do you got for actor then? Who are we throwing in the capsule?
There's a lot of good choices here, honestly. I still think I'm going to stick with my pick as Johnny Depp. Because I think he was just big in the 2000s.
I could go with Depp because
I'll go with Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
he's just a very versatile actor.
Well, yeah, I mean, he had a lot of other movies that I haven't even seen, but I've heard that are really good movies. I mean, so yeah,
he plays a bunch of roles.
Yeah,
plays them pretty well. All right.
I mean, was like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, was that in the 2000s or was that 90s?
Oh,
that's the problem. I lose track of what was in.
I don't know either.
I mean, he's played so many. Edward Scissorhands. I loved him in Edward Scissorhands.
I think that was the 90s.
Yeah, I think it was, but yeah, I'm good with Johnny
98.
Depp. Yeah,
was Fear and Loathing.
Okay, but with Pirates of the Caribbean, it's a good choice.
Wow, and Edward Scissorhands was 1990, so that was.
Was it that long ago?
Was,
wow, time flies.
All right, so what do you got for actresses?
All right, well, actresses, I had just a handful here as well too. Reese Witherspoon. Had her.
That was a good one.
Angelina Jolie.
Wow,
also on my list.
She was big.
Speaking of MCU characters, not quite yet, but Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah,
I had her.
I had her down.
Had her, and then I kind of rounded out my list with Halle Berry.
Oh, yeah, I had Halle
in
Berry.
a couple roles.
I did not have her.
That was
Halle Berry had a lot of things in the 2000s.
Yeah. Was hers like Dead Men Walking, or was that her? Catwoman. I guess that was horrible.
Well, she was in the X-Men too.
That's true.
I
She
forget
was
the character.
Storm. Yeah,
that's right.
I liked her in that.
Yeah, she was in that. She was
I like that movie. Yeah,
I don't know.
And no, it's not her. Never mind.
Right.
Wrong person. All
Go
right,
ahead.
real fast. I've got Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Oh, I had her. You got her. Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
She was in a number. Get Smart.
Yeah.
She was in a number of different movies in the 2000s. Meryl Streep. She's kind of across many decades, I think.
Yeah.
But she's been in a boatload of movies. I don't know. The thing with Meryl Streep, I don't know if I could say her name and say 2000s. I think you random pick. Charlize Theron. I don't know how you say that. Megan Fox.
Yeah.
Oh, from like Transformers.
Transformers, yeah. And I think she had a couple other movies like
things.
Jenny's Sister or something like that. And this one's a TV one. But it's going to give away one of my TV shows. But Alexis Bledel from Gilmore Girls. I mean, that show was huge. Yeah. I didn't watch it, so my man card's still.
If that show takes away your man card, I'm like 3 or 4 man cards out because that is like my wife's favorite show of all time. I think how many times have I seen that since we've been together? Like 4 or 5 times. She rewatches it, constantly.
I do that some shows, but that's not one. And she was in Handmaid's Tale too, which was like later 2000, like more recent.
She still looked like she was like 20 years old.
Yeah. She looked a little haggard in Handmaid's Tale, but that's because of the show.
Right.
I mean, so I think that was all I had.
All right. Well, I had I had a lot of those too, but I put Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah. Might buy some goop from her.
might get some goop. Jennifer Lawrence. She was big.
Hunger Games.
A lot of dystopian, teenage movies.
Well, she was in that movie Joy too, where she created the. It was like she went on the lady that created the self-ringing mop. It was a very good movie. I really liked it a lot.
But he can't watch John Wick. But
anyway,
you get a movie about a mop. Greg is all in. You get a movie about
you bet
an assassin for the mob. I don't know. I don't know if I want to watch that one.
The thing I liked about it was the entrepreneurial,
all the violence.
There was a lot of violence.
Killed like 47 people.
There was some fighting. But the entrepreneurial spirit in it I liked.
Yep. So then I also had Amy Adams. Emma Stone. I mean, they had a few things. And this, I'm not a big fan, but Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
She was all
I
Star
am
Wars.
not a fan, but yeah, she was in Thor.
What, the Black Swan. I mean, she's in a ton of stuff.
Yeah, and we probably shouldn't even mention those Star Wars that she was in.
She was in. They were big. They were big box office movies.
Yeah, I know.
Notice I did not mention any Star Wars movies in my movie category. So, so there we go. So I don't know. It's going to be tough. I don't know who do you got?
Wow.
I really don't have a strong preference, kind of either way on this.
I don't really either. Run yours real fast again.
My entire list. Well, I only had a few.
Do it fast, yeah.
Reese Witherspoon.
Faster.
That's not fast enough.
Angelina Jolie, Halle Berry, Scarlett Johansson. That's my list.
See, for me, I'll tell you who I had: Natalie Portman or Jennifer Lawrence. I was like, those two. If somebody just said the names, like what years were they big and popular, I would have said 2000s. But that's me. I mean, maybe they're not. Maybe they're. I don't know. Maybe Jennifer Lawrence movies are more in the 2010s, and I'm just thinking it's 2000s.
Well, I mean, Hunger Games was in the mid-2s, wasn't it?
I think
I think.
so.
Well, Courtney, they did the marching band show.
That was 2011 when we did that. I mean, but
and
it falls in our
the books
time
were
frame.
already out.
Yeah.
And the movies came out shortly after that. Actually, I could go with Jennifer
2012.
Lawrence. 2012? So that's a little later, but
She was also in X-Men and
Oh, that's right.
the new
Yeah.
when they came out
Yeah.
with the newer.
yeah. I could go with Jennifer Lawrence.
I mean, I really don't have a strong
My second
gut
one was Halle
feeling on
Berry.
this one.
Would have been my second one.
Halle Berry was in a lot of stuff too. I mean, I could definitely go with Halle Berry as far as who most represents out of this list. Did you have Halle Berry?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah, so did I. So, I mean, I could definitely go with Halle Berry.
I think either of those are good picks.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a bunch of people we named.
Yeah, she was in Monsters Ball. That was
Yeah,
the
Monsters.
one.
Oh.
That's what I was thinking of, yeah.
Man, mm-hmm. She's also in John Wick.
I wouldn't know that.
Yes, I know. Not about a movie about a mop, though. No movie.
No, she's
about
not in the Mop movie.
No. But, yeah, I don't know. I would definitely, I would say, I would put Halle Berry in there.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Let's
go
do
for
Halle
it.
Berry.
I forgot she was in all those X-Men movies,
Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
all right, well, let's put Halle Berry is in the time capsule.
All right.
And Johnny Depp was the other, right?
Yep.
We're going to stick on kind of the topic of media here. We're going to round out that with TV. So we'll kind of go over some TV shows for kind of sticking just in the same vein. I'll kind of start us out here. See, the 2000s had a bunch of different TV shows that stuck out to me.
Yeah.
In part because there's so many good comedies, I thought, that were on TV in the 2000s, but there was also a ton of popular reality TV shows, whether
Yep.
they were like the reality dramas or like the contestant game show type things. A bunch of them were out too. So a couple of the comedies I had, like The Office, big
Yep.
one.
Yep.
Scrubs, another big one. How I Met Your Mother, a couple of comedies. Going to like the reality TV shows, if you want to talk about the reality TV competitions, like Survivor. My mom loved Survivor. And there's like almost 50-something seasons of that. So I don't know how that's possible. American Idol got started early 2000s. I think 2002. So that was pretty much right at the start of 2000. And that was huge for a while. Things like Fear Factor
Yep.
also were occurring. Joe Rogan was doing that one. And then some of the other just reality TV shows. Project Runway was out there. My mom liked that. Things like The Bachelorette, Bachelor, and regrettably in this list, Jersey Shore. I remember
Reality
when
TV was huge.
Yeah, when
It
that
really,
first started.
it really exploded.
And then growing up too, shows like more like the kids stuff, I guess, like SpongeBob was huge during 2000s. That one was kind of started in the 90s, but really I think took off in the 2000s. Those are, I think, were like the 90s and the 2000s were like peak, like Cartoon Network shows, stuff like that. But I'll kind of save some of the other stuff just in case. I know I listed a bunch, so I'll kind of let you guys hop in.
You want to go next?
Yours.
Yeah, so I had a lot of those too, but I also had Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
I had 24. I mean, when that first came out, that started in 01. It was 9 seasons.
Jack Bauer.
It was huge. I mean, it was appointment television.
Yeah.
We would record them. Now, we only watched a couple of the first seasons. Mm-hmm. I think season 1 and 2. Then season 3, this was back before we didn't have DVR, but we had a VCR. So you record. Well, if you missed an episode, you're done.
Yeah, that's why there was no
on demand then. So you're like, well, I can't watch the next episode because I don't know what. I mean, stuff happens. So 24 was there.
That's a good one.
I also had 30 Rock.
Yeah, 30 Rock was good.
The Sopranos. I mean, The Sopranos.
I never watched it.
I didn't watch too much.
I never watched it either. The Walking Dead. It came out in 2010, but
yeah.
And then I also had Game of Thrones, and it was 2011. So those are more kind of almost out of those, but
sure.
That's what I had.
Okay. Well, I've got. Let's see. I've got The Office, which you had. House was a really popular show. Monk.
Yeah, we like Monk.
Community. And I had Gilmore Girls was my other one.
Gilmore Girls.
Okay.
And then some of the other ones too that came out kind of along the lines of like Walking Dead, like Mad Men was another one I had. Lost was also huge.
Yeah, it was huge.
That one was also, I remember kind of like, I didn't watch it really that much, but that one also to me, like growing up, seemed like people would make that also appointment television.
Yeah.
Then you had the other like shows like the One Tree Hills out there, CSI from 2000. I think it's really kind of my list.
Arrested Development.
Yeah. And then didn't that come back recently too?
Yeah, but it was 2003 is when it started.
Yeah.
So what do you got? What are you throwing in the time capsule? I know what I'm thinking, but
what are you thinking?
I don't even like these shows, but Survivor, or I mean, if you said 2000s, I think it's got to be a reality.
I was thinking
show.
reality, and I was thinking Survivor or Fear Factor. Both of those were huge.
Survivor, I know people.
It was the original, kind of.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was.
My picks would be Survivor or American Idol. Either one of those two.
Well, I think
American Idol was
Survivor.
Yeah, I think Survivor.
So we'll Survivor.
Let's do it.
We're going Survivor.
What was that show? You've been voted out.
Yeah.
What does he say when he puts the torches out?
I never watched it.
Oh,
you've been exiled or something like that.
Yeah, I forget what his phrase is.
The councils where you have to vote out people.
Then there was the lady. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
That was on the weakest link. All right, where are we heading?
All right, well, let's go from one media to another. Let's go to music.
Oh, this is where I might struggle.
This is going to be difficult.
I wrote down a bunch, but
I did too.
I don't know. I'm not, so.
Well, music is all over the place in the 2000s. Let's start.
Are we doing songs?
Let's start with bands.
Okay.
So we can start with the bands
Or
and
musical
then
artist.
Yeah, or artists.
Okay.
And then kind of go into the songs.
Yeah.
So
there were a lot of like independent artists, like individual artists too. Yeah.
A lot of hip hop people, kind of came to the fray.
Yeah.
Speaking of, that's kind of how I'll start my list. Starting it out, people like Eminem, Usher, Outkast.
I had Outkast. They were huge.
Oh, they were. Let's not forget Britney Spears.
Yeah. She started in the 90s, but I mean, she really exploded in the 2000s.
Yeah.
I had her on my list.
I also had out there kind of Beyonce.
I had Beyonce.
Yeah.
Rihanna.
You couldn't have a list without Beyonce.
Right. And then some of the other, this is where I was more into in the 2000s, growing up with Linkin Park.
Yep, I had them.
Fall Out Boy. And then my kind of, the bands that I loved as a kid, Disturbed, Seether, Godsmack, that early 2000s rock. That was just my sweet spot.
Yeah.
Growing up.
See, I never listened to those. Are those the Screamo bands?
No.
Okay.
They're not, those are ones that you would hear on the radio.
Yeah.
Because my son had a time that he was kind of. It's like I can't understand the
not
words.
really much
It's
Did
like
that.
some of those lean a little more heavy rock?
Oh,
though?
sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, all
But
those
not
bands
screamo.
were no, they're not screamo. All those bands you'd hear songs on the
Yeah.
radio. So
I always
those are
like
kind of the
Linkin
more
Park. I like Linkin
mainstream-
Park a lot.
Yeah, rock songs. So or rock bands. But one other one I had that was more popular too, kind of more mellowed. Coldplay.
Yeah.
was also pretty big in the 2000s. So I'll kind of kick it out to you guys now.
All right.
See what you
Whose
got.
turn?
Go ahead.
All right. I had Linkin Park, Green Day,
Yeah.
Nickelback. Ooh.
I'm sorry.
I know.
You know
All
what? They were huge though.
They
Yeah.
were.
What is your problem with Nick? I hear a lot of people say that. I
Yep.
really want to know what your problem is with them.
I'll explain.
Go ahead.
They're like the bad mix of. They're not quite rock, but they're not quite like alt or whatever. They're just a bad mix of everything. I think in my book, they're too. I just never.
They showed up on the radio quite a bit.
Oh, unfortunately,
Yeah.
they do. Just the songs I thought were so one level, monotone type songs. You would hear up till the chorus, and then you got the song. That's it. You don't need to hear anymore. They're just so I don't. There was no creativity I thought with Nickelback, so I never liked Nickelback.
Okay.
They kind of have a reputation for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Black Eyed Peas. Was J-Lo, was she big in 2000s?
Yeah.
I know she is now, but in the
She might have
earlier
been.
2000s, I know she acted as well. And she was on TV. I think she was in the dance group for, what was that TV show? Was she on In Living Color, whatever that show was? But that was pre-2000s, I think.
Yeah, she was one of the
That was-
Fly Girls.
Yeah. But I don't know about J-Lo, but Rihanna,
Yeah.
Gaga. I'm picking all the female ones here. Kings of Leon.
Oh.
They were a little later, but I like them.
I never got into them too much either.
That's really about all I've got.
So I had some of those, but that's like Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drake, Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye was huge. Maroon 5,
Yeah, Maroon 5.
JT,
Yes.
I had
Justin
JT.
Justin
I forgot to say
Timberlake.
him, yeah.
The Foo Fighters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of a lot of these. I'm just saying that the White Stripes
Yeah.
and like Death Cab for Cutie. They were kind of an
Really-
alternative,
I never
Yeah.
listened to
I-
them.
I've heard some of their songs, but
but that was all I had. So
Did you guys did you like Maroon 5?
I had Maroon 5.
5? Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Geez, Taylor Swift.
She was huge.
Yeah.
And it all started with the Romeo and Juliet song.
Yeah.
And from there, just
Well, she just, she
Skyrocketed.
had those first few country albums of hers just went crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird to think of a
every time
country
she breaks up with a guy, she writes another album. So
right.
Yeah, not somebody you wanted to date.
no.
It's weird to also think that she was a country artist at one point too.
Yeah, she didn't sound.
It
real
was
country. It's
bubblegummy pop country.
Yeah,
it
but-
wasn't real country.
But that's I think how she tried to brand herself a little bit
Yeah.
Yeah.
at the start.
But like her or hate her, I mean, I give it. She's talented.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
writes a lot
Writes
of
her own,
music
yeah.
and puts it out there, and
She's loaded.
she is loaded. Now, I think she came in more towards the end of the 2000s, more in the 2010s. Mm-hmm. But
Did she?
she
She
fit
was
the-
later.
Yeah.
Well, Romeo and Juliet, I think, was like 2009 or
Yep.
2. It's right in there. So, I mean, it's right
I
at
was
the
in
end.
I was in middle school when that one
It
came
was
out.
right at the end of that. But I don't know. So there you go. So who we throwing in the capsule? Who we got?
There's a good list here.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of
different
good.
categories.
Like I said, I like Linkin Park, but and I think if somebody said them to me, I would think 2000s. But Taylor Swift just really nails it as far as
That's one.
Well, if I had to pick,
I got 3.
I
got
was going to
3.
say I had 3.
So throw your 3 out.
So I think my personal preference would probably be Linkin Park because they.
Now, is this with your heart or is this with?
Yes, my personal preference with my heart is Linkin Park because they were the rock and they also had the I don't want to call it hip hop, but they had that element in their songs that a lot of other rock bands didn't have.
Yeah, they had the
I don't know what you call it.
What do they call that? The speaking parts in the songs that were kind of, yeah.
Then I'm gonna have to give one to Beyonce, as I mentioned, too, throughout there.
She was and is huge.
And then I would also throw out Coldplay too, because Coldplay was very radio friendly, very popular too. I mean, Coldplay has like some of the most listened to songs on a number of different platforms.
Yeah. I'm really good with any of those. I mean,
do you have 3? I've got 3, so I don't know.
Mine were Nickelback, Linkin Park, Linkin Park, and Taylor Swift. Those are
Greg's tripling down on Nickelback.
No, mine are Linkin Park and Taylor Swift.
See, I had Beyonce, Kanye West. I mean, if you just look at the sheer, because I looked up like how many number ones those two had together. They dominated the 2000s. Yeah. And then Eminem, same way. Eminem he broke records for how long his album, I think, was number 1 in the 2000s. And he had 8 Mile. I mean, all that. It's just like, again, not a huge fan of any of the 3 of those. That's just not my style. But my problem is with rock, I feel like the 2000s rock was just not as big, not as popular. It's hard for me to vote for a rock group. And I'm a rock guy. I like rock way better. I just struggle with, man, if you say 2000s.
Well, it seemed like through the 90s.
Yeah.
It seems like through the 90s and 2000s, something happened where, we had in the 80s, we had the arena bands, that.
Oh, they died out.
They would just, and it's like
grunge.
Kind of
grunge
stopped.
Killed those. Sorry, I'm going to.
But 2000s rock bands, that's the sweet spot. I mean, I could listen to 2000 rock.
Oh, I agree.
Day.
I like rock way better, but I'm just saying if you just went out on, we picked 100 random people and threw out some names and said, what decade were they popular?
Which is what I mean. That's why I kind of went with Linkin Park, is they blended the rock with a little bit of the other styles.
We get it. You like Linkin Park. This has become.
Well, hold on a second. I'm not like a Linkin Park apologist or anything.
This is your Weird Al.
Their lead singer passed away too. If you want to,
Well, yeah.
Honorarium again.
Memoriam, you mean?
Memoriam, yeah. I don't know what I'm thinking.
So I don't care. I mean, it's up to you. So who are we throwing in?
Geez, I don't know.
Not Nickelback, but outside of that, who are we throwing in?
I would probably go for either Beyonce or I guess I could go with Kanye. Either of those two.
I'd probably go with Beyonce over Kanye.
That Beyonce was kind of my first when I just looked at everybody's, yours, mine. You had them on the list, and as soon as you said,
she was kind of my second choice.
That was my first. Like,
yeah.
If you just said 2000s, boom.
She was right behind Nickelback for me, but
well, obviously.
I mean, your fourth pick, right?
Yeah. So no, I could definitely go with Beyonce.
All right. I agree.
Works.
Yeah, when you said her and she was one of the top of your list, and again,
she is
not
up
a
there.
huge fan, but a ton of hits. So
yeah.
All right, where are we going next?
Let's go to songs. Let's keep it in the musical kind of vein. Let's go with the song. So starting off, actually, my songs up here are mostly like hip hop songs. No.
Mine are by a lot of the bands.
Those are buried in the ground like the capsule going to be, but it's like far, far away.
Oh, man.
Mine are a lot of these
vitriol
bands
for
we talked
Nickelback
about.
is something.
Honestly, here's what I'll say this, actually.
Don't hold back.
Okay. If you put me in a room, it was like a padded cell, I was in that room for the rest of my life, and I had to pick between Nickelback or Weird Al to listen to, I'm going Weird Al.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm taking Weird Al over Nickelback.
For Weird Al.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I feel about Nickelback, if that kind of illustrates the picture.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't mind Nickelback, but I don't like them. I mean, I never was like a huge fan, but the more people hated them, I never got the hate. I'm like, they're okay. It's just
no.
I honestly don't know that many of their songs.
I only know the
Photograph.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
Look
it's
at
because
this photograph.
somebody probably memed it, right? You've
Probably.
seen the look at this graph, and he's holding up a picture of a graph. Is that how you know that song?
No, I know it from the radio.
Yeah, I know it from
All
the
right.
radio.
I
I only
just
know a
throwing that
couple
out
of
there.
their songs. And again, I
People
would never
meme
go
those
out and
songs.
buy their song, or I wouldn't look for it. But if it came on the radio, I wouldn't be like breaking my legs to run over to turn it either. So
Well, Mike would.
Change the station fast enough.
that's what makes the world go round. Everybody's different.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right. So most of my songs are kind of like hip hop songs, honestly.
Snoop Dogg.
Starting off with actually Outkast, Hey Ya.
Yeah, I had that one.
Huge in the early 2000s there. I'll actually pull out one of JT's Sexy Back.
I had that one.
I had
Bringing
that one.
Sexy Back. Yep. I think is this Backstreet Boys or NSYNC? Bye Bye Bye. Which one is that?
In sync.
NSYNC?
I think it's
I'm not
NSYNC.
certain.
Bye Bye Bye.
Yeah.
And then
Again, another JT song when he was with NSYNC.
True.
I'll go here with one of Snoop's and dropping it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot.
Eminem had a one that I always got stuck in my head is Lose Yourself.
Yeah.
Did they just do that at the Super Bowl? I'm sure they did.
Yeah,
That's probably one of
I
his
think they
popular
did.
songs.
Yeah.
I actually had two. This song would also get stuck in my head. Hips Don't Lie
Oh,
by
yeah.
Shakira.
That
That
was
one
a
I
song.
felt like was
Yeah,
played
that
all
was
the time.
big.
And then I know Greg actually hates this song, but it's kind of I got to put some sort of other variety in here. Seven Nation Army.
I have that on my list, and I hate it.
Yeah. So I'll kind of leave it there for
that
now.
one's not going in the. I'm in the padded room with you.
That's fine.
And I'm gonna. I'd rather listen to. What would I listen to before Seven Nation Army? Oh, what's the song I don't like? Turn Around, Bright Eyes.
So I was gonna say that's not at the top of my list by any means, but
Yeah.
for some extra variety, I'll kind of kick it over to you guys now
All right,
and
go ahead.
give you guys some choices.
See? All right. Well, I had Lose Yourself. That was number one for 12 weeks
Whew.
in 2002. That's a huge song.
Yep.
I also had Sexy Back.
Yeah, I had that one.
7 weeks at number one. So I did a little research in here. I Got a Feeling. Black Eyed Peas. 14 weeks. That was in 2009. Umbrella
I had that
Yeah.
one.
by Rihanna. That was 7 weeks in 2007. And then another song that was huge in 2004, Usher. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Even
was,
though that's all he said the entire
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was huge. It was everywhere.
Yep.
So those were the ones that I had.
All right. I had a Linkin Park song in here in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I had Seven Nation Army. I Got a Feeling. I had that one. Sexy Back. I had Umbrella. Was Poker Face.
I think so.
Poker,
That one and like the TikTok song.
Yeah, her
I mean,
earlier.
all of those I think were from 2000s there.
Yeah, that's really about all I had. My pick would probably, from what you guys put, would be Lose Yourself. I think that'd be my pick. If you want me to throw out a second one, I probably can come up with
I had Lose Yourself was in either that one or like Usher's Yeah, only because of how long they were, or Sexy Back. I mean, if those three.
I would throw out Sexy Back or why is that slipping my mind? Lose Yourself.
Lose Yourself.
Yeah, I could go either way.
We
those.
all three picked. I think Lose Yourself.
Yeah,
that
I think
song
so.
was huge.
I think so.
So, all right, Eminem gets thrown into the time capsule.
Man, our time capsule is very very
Diverse.
There's a bunch of variety in here. So let's go. We've got a few more categories left. I think what's going to transition us the best from here is if we do kind of the fad and pop culture
Okay.
aspect here
Yep,
in the 2000s. So one of the biggest fads, we kind of already talked about it. Reality TV was huge. Again, we only scratched the surface on the amount of programming that was available to choose from with reality TV. You had the competitions, the different like drama, where it's like the Real Housewives type thing where everybody's just getting in fights and bickering with each other kind of a thing. So reality TV, I think, is it's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Another thing I had too was blogs. It seemed like everyone had a blog.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Blogs, to me, they seem like the podcasts of the 2000s. Not everybody had a podcast, but everybody had a blog.
Yeah, that
There's
was
always
the
a
big
blog.
thing. Yeah.
And that kind of coincided with the rise of like the MySpace aspect of social
Yep.
media. And then you kind of get into Facebook there. So social media, I kind of put that in the same
Yeah,
aspect,
I kind of
but-
did that too, but then I'm thinking, well, is that really a fad? Because it's gone,
Right. Back in the
Or pop culture.
Back
Yeah.
in the 2000, I mean, it was kind of getting its start. So that's kind of just, that's kind of just a mention. I would say, kind of an
Yeah.
honorable mention. Some of the other stuff I had in there were like the tabloids, like what's the term? Paparazzi. Were all over the
yeah.
celebrity lifestyles. I'm trying to think of like the Leave Britney Alone type thing.
yeah.
They would always have the celebrity scandals and all that going on in the 2000. Who's going into rehab this week?
Right.
That kind of a thing. And then some other fads and everything that were happening. I remember this very vividly. Things like Heelys were huge.
I had that
I had
down.
Heelys, yeah.
And kind of along those same veins, those boots that every girl would wear, the Uggs is what I think they're
Uggs,
called.
Yeah, Uggs were big. Yeah.
It's like those were everywhere. And then I kind of also had something along the lines of like iPods. We're also kind of getting the
Yeah.
So
the start.
MP3 players.
Yep.
Yeah.
Specifically the iPod though. I wanted to make sure specifically like iPods because that
Yeah.
started.
We won't get one of those other cheapy brands
Well, no.
in our time capsule.
Well, it was like if you got the iPod, they started off with like the ones that didn't
The
even
little
have a
square
screen.
one.
Yeah, and then they evolved into I think what eventually became like the iPhones and everything. So that kind of launched all the stuff we have now. Started from the little tiny little iPod Shuffle. So, those were some of the ones I had too. So I'll kind of kick it out there.
All right. I didn't have a whole lot. Cell phones really took off.
Yep.
I mean, in the 2000s.
And the style of cell phones were
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
The flip phones,
flip phones,
and the slider phones.
Yeah, sliders. What
Razor.
Yeah, Razor.
The
that's
Razor
what
was
I'm
a big
thinking
one.
of. Which would probably be another thing. The Razor, like scooters and stuff.
Yeah, I've got that in a different.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, in a different
probably
one.
toys.
Yep.
Yeah. Just looking on a quick look here, I found, aggressively gelled and frosted tips.
Aggressively gel.
Yeah, and frosted
I
tips.
actually will admit I had frosted tips.
The faux honk.
The highlights. It was not pretty.
They say belly button chains with charms on them.
Ugh. Oh, I can't say that.
When actually, one of the other ones
You
I
had a belly button chain?
No.
Oh, I didn't know where
I
you
had
were
the
going.
highlights and for stuff, but another fad I was saving, but kind of along the same lines. The bedazzled look of like everybody had like the relax wear. It seemed like with the bedazzled butt messages, like pink or juicy or whatever.
okay.
Yeah. I think that's really about all I've got. I don't have a whole lot of those.
Yep, I had phones and I had smartphones. The first one, iPhone came out in 07, but I mean,
Yeah, prior to that.
more in the 2010s, but yeah. The Segway,
No.
that was a big deal.
Segue into what? What are we going to?
Yeah.
And that one's definitely a fad because that
Yep.
died out fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Also, planking, remember?
Oh, yeah, planking
Yes,
was huge.
I had planking.
That was a good one.
Flash mobs.
Oh,
Yeah?
yeah.
Flash
Good thought.
mobs I had in there as well. Angry Birds. That came out the end of the 2000s.
Yeah,
but it
that's
was
a good
real
one.
popular. Everybody was playing Angry Birds.
I
Angry
still
Birds,
have that
Angry
on my
Birds.
phone.
And then the last thing, the low carb, the Atkins diet. This was before keto even. The Atkins was huge. I
Yeah,
mean, lots
I
of people
did it
do
a few
I did
times.
too. It didn't take, but I did it.
It worked, but then you would always fall off and yeah.
So that's all I had. That was the end of mine.
One of the last other ones I was going to touch on, actually, I had planking on there, so Doug took that one. And then the other one I had was like the rise of YouTube.
Yeah.
Like the early version of
Yep.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Where you had those I mean, I can remember those early YouTube videos now off the top of my head.
Yeah.
The Fred, the high pitched talking guy, Charlie the unicorn.
Oh yeah.
Early YouTube was like that needs its own time capsule. Honestly.
Yeah. There's so much there.
Yeah, like the early YouTube kind of took off into the video sharing.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And I think YouTube kind of led to stuff like TikTok and
unfortunately,
all that
yes.
stuff now.
Yep.
So
I agree.
I think, though, if I had to pick, I do have a clear-cut fad, pop culture trend. It's definitely reality TV for me.
Okay.
That's up there.
I like reality TV. I really like planking, too. Because that was just such a huge... And flash mobs.
Yes.
Both of those were big. And they both went away at that time.
Well, planking coincided with your Facebook posts because you would post on Facebook about the most outrageous places you'd plank.
Yeah.
So
I have never planked.
Yeah. See, I reality TV and YouTube. When you brought that up, I was like, it was huge. I mean, it was. I remember finding all kinds of stuff, videos, and our nieces and nephews like, oh yeah, they'd always find this. There's always some weird thing.
Yes.
Like, yep.
Yeah. I think I like reality TV better, though, because if you say YouTube to somebody, they're probably going to pick later, like current.
Yep.
I mean, unless you qualify it with, some of those old clips and stuff.
All right. So let's throw reality TV in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds good. All right. Well, actually, so Greg had kind of alluded to the next segment here. The next one was kind of like the toys of the 2000s. So, like, what the kids were doing back in the 2000s.
Yep.
So Greg took kind of the one that one of them I had was the Razor scooters.
Oh, yeah.
Those were huge.
Yeah,
I had that as well.
2000s.
My son had one.
I could kind of throw, I guess, Heelys. Well, I mean,
I had
toy.
those under both.
I remember those got so popular, and every kid had them.
Yeah.
That they had to be, you couldn't wear them in school anymore to a certain point. And so,
Yeah.
yeah. One other thing too that I had that was huge was the Webkins. Do you guys know that, like these stuffed animals with the code that you could put it in online, and you could have your actual stuffed animal, but then you could play with it online. That was big. Some other stuff I had, like Pokemon got huge in the 2000s with like more video games that came out, the cards, all that stuff. Some other ones kind of along the same line as like Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yep, I had those down there.
I had on here too. I had one of these. It was okay. Like Beyblades, the things where you could pull back
like
a
a
cord.
top or something.
Yeah, and it would spin the top. But the thing is, you'd fight your friends with them and see which one was the last one spinning. And then there was the things like I specifically kind of remembered one of these I had, and it kind of brought me on a rabbit trail looking up some more. But the little robot toys. And there's specific
like the Tamagotchis and things like that?
So Tamagotchis could be one. I'm kind of talking more along the lines of like the robot dog.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There was a robot dog that you could walk around, and then there was the iDog, which would like talk and respond to you. Well, I don't know if it would talk, but it would respond to something
a little
you would
bone
say.
or something.
Yep.
I can't remember that.
Mom
and
had one of
its
those.
ears
it was
would light
silver.
up.
Yeah.
And it would kind of like move its head.
Yeah.
They had the Robo Sapien, so like the white robot guy, you could move around, and you could like move his arms. And then the Robo Raptor was another one. So there was a bunch of the rise of the robots here.
Yes.
So a bunch of different like individual robots toys, and then I had a couple like Guitar Hero was awesome. Growing up as a kid with Guitar
I had that
Hero,
one down. Yeah.
Rock Band,
Yep.
jamming out with friends. Oh, that would be so much fun.
Yeah, I had
You
those
could
both down.
Yep.
Pretend like you're rock stars playing Rock Band or Guitar Hero. Sims is another popular one I
Sims
had
as well.
I mean, you can control your player. You can do whatever you want. You can change their life. And then another big one I had was Dance Dance Revolution.
I had that one as well.
Too.
You pretty much wiped out my list.
Yeah, mine's about gone too,
Well,
I think.
I mean, these are the things I grew up doing. So, and then really to round out my list, I had like Bratz was kind of like the Barbie competition.
I had that.
So those were the more sassy Barbies,
Yep.
I guess.
And they got sued and stopped from being sold. So
Yeah.
Mattel went after them.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'll kind of pass off. From
Yeah,
you.
I think the only thing I've maybe got different was, and you mentioned web or like the little creatures and stuff like that. Furby,
No.
yeah, was big. Because so I had DDR, Razor scooters, those Heelys. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I think you got them pretty well covered.
Yep. The only other thing I had was I put this under toys or tech, but iPods. I put that down too because I know that was huge. So
Yeah.
And then,
that would be the only thing I added to it. But
okay. One other one that I had sitting out there too was like Nerf. Nerf was kind of taken
Yeah,
off.
Nerf was big. I'm
I'm pretty sure it was around right before.
yeah,
that.
I don't think.
yeah.
I think 2000s. When
no,
I, think
I mean I
Nerf.
had Nerf guns and stuff when I was a kid.
Okay.
I think, not as a
We had
lap-
real, we had
okay.
real guns. BB guns.
yeah, BB gun.
Is that like the playground effect?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Shoot
Okay.
at each other with them.
So the German guy would say, "Get rid of all the Nerf guns."
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, big selection again here with a toy category.
Yeah, boy. I think I could go.
I've got like 3 picks.
I think I could go Guitar Hero.
That's one of mine.
Razor scooters
Okay.
would probably be my 2.
Okay.
There's
Mine-
probably a lot more, but that's the 2 that pop in my head.
I would also throw Guitar Hero. Actually, was kind of like my first or second pick. Honestly, I would throw out Dance Dance Revolution as well. And
Yeah,
then
that was good.
If I had to pick another one, I think I'd probably go with the Webkins, just because I feel like that was such another huge thing that
Yeah.
everybody was into.
Yeah, any of those are fine with me.
Yeah, I had Guitar Hero. That was the one I had circled right away. So
Well, that is,
I think that's
it.
the one.
unanimous.
Guitar Hero.
All right, fantastic.
These next couple will go pretty fast, I think.
Yeah.
I don't have anything for the restaurants.
Okay.
I've got a couple, but I don't know.
yeah.
They're
Okay. Well, let's do. How about we do commercials real quick?
and I have no commercials.
I have
so.
no commercials
All
either.
right. Well, all right.
Do you have
let's do this.
some?
I do.
Good.
Watching, TV or whatever as a kid, there would always be some stuff that just stuck in my head. The first thing was rainbow art. The rainbow art commercials. Those I feel like
You do
played
that while you
all
were
the
watching Mean
time.
Girls? You do the rainbow art?
Well, I didn't watch Mean Girls back then. I didn't. Watch it.
Oh, it's too old for you. That's
Oh yeah. Rainbow art was like if you were watching like SpongeBob or something.
yeah.
Every commercial segment, rainbow art would be on. Floam was another popular
Floam,
commercial
Flarp.
that was
I remember Floam.
that
Yeah.
would like play all the time. One of the commercials that I actually got into was Zoo Books. I actually got Zoo Books.
What is that? I mean, I
It's
assume
like
it's
Encyclopedia of Animals,
but about
or
zoo-
something,
about-
or-
It's like a
Animals?
monthly. I think it was a monthly. It was like a nature publication that it's like a little magazine that you could go through, and there would be like collectible like little stuff in there.
yeah.
But yeah, I did have the Zoo Books, and like through them you could like read about different animals and different aspects of like nature and stuff like that. One of the other commercials that popped in my head was Baby Bottle Pop for the jingle aspect of it. Baby Bottle Pop.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah, I can vaguely remember it.
I remember I hated that commercial because of the jingle, but the jingle was what always just got stuck in my head just because of it. And then some of the like the
Which is
last
the goal.
one, which is the goal. I always got the Canine Advantix commercial too. I don't know why this one always stuck out to me. Canine Advantix, the "Hello Mother, Hello."
Oh
Father,
yeah, yeah.
the anti-tick medication. The dog would always sing that. I had like J.G. Wentworth commercials. I don't know if those were before 2000s or not, but I remember those were around. As a
Yeah.
kid. So that's kind of my list.
Do you have a pick for one of those?
If I had
Since
to
you-
pick, rainbow art.
Okay.
I feel like that. I don't know why. Maybe that's totally anecdotal, but that one just always sticks out to me.
Well, you
from the
you picked them,
2000s.
so I think
Yeah,
that's a good.
I don't have anything.
I did a look, and I just nothing really.
Terry Tate.
Was that 2000?
Yeah, 2002.
But that was like one limited
Yeah.
kind of
It was
time
more
for
Super Bowl, and
hilarious.
it wasn't a widely known.
All right, we going to food then? Wrap it
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
All right. Well, I had some other stuff here too. I'm going to go over a couple different categories. I'm going to go like food, then I'm going to go to a couple specific restaurants. So, as a kid, I'd always take my lunch, so I'd have Lunchables.
Lunchables were huge. Yeah.
Lunchables were huge, and a couple other things along those lines, like Go-Gurt,
Oh, yeah.
man, yeah.
Fruit by the Foot,
Yep.
Gushers, the little gummies. With
Got
the
some of
little-
those up in our little thing up there.
It's been a long time since I had Gushers. the Kool-Aid bottles are I forget what they're called, like the twist cap
Yeah.
Kool-Aid bottles, Push Pops, vividly stick out from my childhood. Again, I don't know if that's specifically a 2000s thing, but Kid Cuisine, I feel like was big too in the 2000s.
I don't remember Kid
It's like a
Cuisine.
microwavable.
Oh, okay. I kind of
blue
remember that now.
box.
Yeah.
And then a couple restaurants that I had. If I had to pick a restaurant for the 2000s, by far, to me, it's Chili's. Chili's, I feel like, took off big time in the 2000s. Like, Chili's became, like, one of the more mainstream restaurants.
I want
At
my
least to
baby
me.
back, baby back, baby back.
Exactly. I loved Chili's as a kid. Applebee's was a lot bigger in the 2000s
Yeah.
before it eventually kind of
dwindled a
quieted
little
down. Yeah. And then one other one, just again, kind of like, again, this goes back beyond 2000, but for me, it was big in the 2000s, was Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut before it became like takeout.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut. Before
Yeah.
it evolved into what it is.
That was
today.
popular in the 70s, even though, because we used to
Right.
go
Oh, yeah.
all the time.
The 80s, too. 'Cause
Yeah,
they had the
80s, yeah.
either Duck Hunt or Pac-Man.
Yeah. Lunch buffet.
Oh.
And what was the
Personal pizzas.
what was the calzone that they had? What was that one called?
I don't remember that.
That would always be what I got from Pizza Hut.
You're like Ben from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Did he like calzone?
Oh, he loves calzones.
Okay.
So do you got anything for
the only-
food?
I looked up most popular restaurant in the 2000s, and it went to fast food. McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had like Starbucks.
Yeah.
That started really getting big. It's not really a restaurant, but it's a food related food and drink thing.
I had nothing for restaurants, but if you when you said Chili's, I'd say that would probably be what I would think.
Yeah.
The
I
most
love
popular.
the atmosphere of like the 2000s Chili's.
Yeah.
Like it was definitely different than what they're doing now.
Yeah. We went to Chili's a lot.
And then as far as food, I was trying to think what food fads more.
Food
more
fads.
And avocado toast really came on strong. You started hearing about that. I don't eat avocado toast, but I've heard about it. But I mean, it's out there. How about like gourmet cupcakes? You started hearing about places that would sell gourmet cupcakes.
Yeah.
That might have been more in the 10s. I don't know. I was trying
Yeah.
to think. You started hearing more about gluten-free stuff or almond milk. Again, maybe that's more now.
Probably a little later than but still
Cake
2000s.
pops.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think a lot of that's around 11, 12,
Yeah.
somewhere around there.
So that's all I got. So what food are you thinking?
I like the Chili's.
Well, that was for
we
the
can do
restaurant.
restaurant.
For food?
Yeah, see,
Gogurt?
That was the one that stuck out the most to me when you
Yeah.
said Go-Gurt. I'm like,
to me, I'll do
that's-
Lunchables, Go-Gurt, or
Yeah, Lunchables.
like Food by the
Lunchables
Foot,
were kind of popular, though, earlier than that, I think.
Yeah, so that's why as soon as you said Go-Gurt, I'm like, yeah, that's that. If somebody asked me, I would say that's a 2000.
Yeah.
I had a Go-Gurt in my lunch, so about every day. So I'll take the Go-Gurt.
Okay.
I'm good with Gogurt.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up the 2000s.
Yes,
That was
it does.
all over the place.
Yes, it was. So in our time capsule, we have, for the movie, we have Harry Potter movie. We're going to throw in the Survivor television show. Beyonce is our musical artist of the decade. The song of the decade for us, we chose Lose Yourself, Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
12 weeks at number 1 in 2002.
I kind of like the Weird Al version of that one better.
Oh, of course, there's a Weird Al version.
And then for fads or pop culture, we went reality TV. Just took off huge. Couldn't get away from it, even if you wanted to. Toys, we're going to do a Guitar Hero. Johnny Depp and Halle Berry are actors and actresses that we threw into the time capsule. And you know what? We'll give them a Go-Gurt to eat
Cap it
a
off.
Chili's gift card. And maybe they can watch Rainbow Art and get a Rainbow Art.
Well,
Something to
the
do.
Gogurt's going to be nasty when you pull it
It's
out
gonna
of
be nasty.
the time capsule.
It is going to be nasty.
Hey, it might age well. You never know.
It might. We should have thrown McDonald's French fries in there. They'd be fine.
Yeah. So there you go. Hey, let us know if you guys agree, disagree, whatever. I mean, if you've got some other thoughts, feel free to comment on any of our social media posts.
Yeah, I bet there could be some definite disagreement about this one.
The Nickelback people are coming for you.
Oh, I'm sure they are. They'll come for me and, all the other people who have my...
Well, I think the head of their fan club might be on this podcast. I don't know.
Stay tuned to find out.
Yes, stay tuned. So there you go. That was our time capsule episode of 2000. That was the last one. And I don't know. We'll have to decide which which decade was the best.
Yeah.
But
80s,
I don't have a
70s.
Yeah, I would go 70s or 80s.
Mike's like, wasn't even born.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
can't quite comment on that, but
All right. Well, hey, thank you so much for listening, tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Relax, laugh a little bit. Life is short, so don't get offended. Just try to enjoy yourself. And once again, we thank you for tuning in, listening, and we hope you tune in 7 days. See ya.
Later.
peace.
Well, that wraps up another episode. Thanks for listening. Please be sure to subscribe, and you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.